We've got an excellent field to talk about the benefits of compost. Sandy loams are your classic soil for adding in organic matter and seeing quite a fast improvement in yield effects through improved soil structure, improved soil health, which we can actually see down in this hole. If we look across the nice interface that's been prepared by Philip, you can see the number of wormholes within this profile, and they are a very good indicator of overall soil health, which is why we were talking about doing worm counts and so forth when we're assessing effects within trials. So if you look in this one, we've got this lovely amount of wormholes going down through the profile, good root penetration down through. And if we actually take off a little and we look at the crumbly aggregate strength on this, and we're going to compare it to the soil over the road, which hasn't had any organic matter input, any compost put in, we will see quite a difference. So hold that in your memory banks, as Philip just said, and we'll look at the soil across the road. Now, in terms of the beneficial effects of using compost, the field experiments that have been done to date by RAP, the long-term Enviros field experiments, work done on the soil quality sites with ADAS, have all shown that we've got improved moisture holding capacity, which isn't a lot of use over the last year, but in previous years we've seen some significant yield benefits using compost on sandy loams in particular. But you will also get benefits in clay loams with reduced draft force, the work that we've been talking about this morning. Nutrient holding capacity, we're going to improve sandy loam in particular by improving the cation exchange capacity and the ability to hold on to the nutrients within the soil. So we're adding in organic matter to hold on to the phosphate we're putting in with the compost as well. So compost really, in a way, it will sell itself to the farmer in terms of a good potash supply and a good supply of phosphate, which will then, if you like, sell for the haulage and the application cost in putting it on your field. Putting a price on the organic matter is more of a challenge, but you will see it over a longer term gain. Right, so if we look at this soil, this has not had any compost, same soil type, over the road, lovely to have a comparison. And we can see a much more solid structure. You need a lot more strength to break it down. So the bulk density and the packing, much more solid in this soil. It's going to take more effort for those roots to get down through. And the other thing to look at in this one is, where are the wormholes? If you look at it in comparison to that other soil pit, I think there's one over here. We were probably, if we were looking at an area like that, we were probably seeing 4 or 5 over there, weren't we? Over here, let's take the same area, you could possibly see 1 or 2 very solid structure to actually get into. So it has had quite a dramatic effect. Compost itself, you can pretty much say, first year of application, 0% release of nitrogen from a green compost. Food compost has got a little bit more nitrogen in it because you get things like meat proteins coming through. So you might get 5% release of available nitrogen. But what we're really looking at is improving the overall turnover, your factory workers in the soil working to turn over nutrients and make them readily available to the crop. So feed the soil to feed the crop. And that principle applies whether we're dealing with an organic material or fertilizer. We're actually feeding the soil. So if we get the soil working better, that means more efficient use of not only the nutrients provided by the organic material, but also fertilizer applied at the same time. So we're looking at overall turnover. In terms of that use of fertilizer nitrogen, what we have found on the longer field experiments is that where the organic matter improves, where the turnover improves, you can actually reduce nitrogen fertiliser application. And that's where the nitrogen element comes in. It's not coming particularly from the material, but it's coming from the soil behaving better and providing it back.